How's it going this morning, guys? It's a little bit before 7, and I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you guys. I usually don't see this time of the day. The weather's been changing. Fall is here. I've got my insulated sweatshirt on, and for some reason I just felt a need to share this. This is like my favorite place in the whole world right now. This is my little splitting cove. I don't know, see my breath here? I've got myself a green tea. About 3 weeks ago, I stopped drinking Diet Coke. I ended up, I didn't drink it for 2 days, and I got that caffeine headache. And that was the point where I realized that I was addicted to Coke. So I've been trying very hard not to drink. I had one yesterday for the first time in like 3 weeks, and that could be why I'm up so early today. There's a few things I just wanted to kind of talk about, and this is going to be a rambly video. Maybe some people like them, some people don't, but I just felt a need to make one, and I think just because I thought this was such an awesome setting to hold the video. There's a waterfall. We have some old mills that were water powered back in the day in town, and there's a beautiful waterfall. At some point I want to do a state of the CTSCAPER video out there because it's such a beautiful backdrop. But I know a lot of you guys like the wood splitting videos, and I think this is pretty cool. What did I want to say? So the first thing I wanted to say was thanks a lot for your support on the last few videos about the holes housing and the one I made of how I mounted my splitting tire. You know, it still amazes me. I can put a video up that's about landscaping and a few people watch it, and don't get me wrong, I know you folks really enjoy them. But if I put a video up of me you know, using power equipment, as much as I know I get more negative feedback because there's always somebody that seems to know more. I don't mind people that know more. There always seems to be somebody that thinks they know more or thinks they're better than me. That gets a little bit annoying. But the wood splitting videos, you guys seem to enjoy, so thank you very much. You know, it was a little bit slow the last 2 or 3 weeks, and that gave me more time than usual to make videos. And it's weird because, you know, I used to really get disappointed if things were slow, and honestly until 2008 when the economy, 2009 when the economy tanked, I never had a slow time. I'd always keep busy through the summers. I got out of landscape maintenance, mowing, fall cleanup, stuff like that. I don't remember when, but it was just before the economy tanked. And a lot of guys I talk to that are doing the maintenance work is good. The maintenance is always going to be there. Our society seems to be gearing more towards, you know, not doing the menial tasks. But for the design work in my area, there's not a ton to be found. You really have to travel farther and get to the more affluent communities. Not to say I don't live. I'd like to think I'm a pretty affluent community, but people with multiple homes. That seems to be the people I need to work for. And when I had my kids, I decided that I didn't want to be one of those guys that's just never around. So I specifically said I'm going to work in Newtown, Trumbull, and Shelton. You know, that's always been my goal, which is literally I can get to any place I'm working within 20-25 minutes tops. But in this area, people don't seem to be. You know, I've got a handful of very good customers, and I always get a few jobs every year, but it's just not like it was. And I didn't mean to ramble that long about that situation, but you know, that's where it is, and so I guess we'll put that as the first thing I wanted to talk about. The holes housing, I just want to talk about that a bit. The holes housing series I'm doing. The holes housing, I'm just going to take a picture later and I'll put it in the video here. It's a lot easier. I'll just go back and take a picture. But the Holzhausen's about 5 feet tall now, and you know, that's why this area is looking so nice. And this little, I don't know if you guys can see the wood over here, there's a little bit of wood here. I've gone through one chipper body truck. My friend who's an arborist brought me a load of wood, and it was, the first load he brought me was really well seasoned ash, and it was another type of wood. What the heck type of wood was it? It's one I don't see very much, doesn't rot very often, and I'll probably think of it later in the video, but I've split one chipper dump body of wood and put it into my Holzhausen, and I think a chipper dump body is usually 10 or 12 feet long. It's quite a bit of wood, and the load of wood is awesome because none of the pieces were more than about 1 foot in diameter, and that's pretty much the ideal size for using them all. The bigger stuff you really need to either quarter it with a saw or use your sledge and wedge to take care of it. So was there a thought? So yeah, the Holzhausen's 5 feet tall. Today I'm going to start filming a video about my chipper shredder. I'm going to put another picture up here of my chipper shredder here, and I've been using that. So every time I split, I put all the bark and the sawdust. I have these big pots. I think they're 25-gallon pots. I've got 2 of them. So every time I split wood, I put the bark and the sawdust in those pots, and then when I'm done, either that day or the next day, I'll take it over to the chipper and run through the chipper shredder. And it's so nice because I used to either throw it on my compost pile or take it to the dump. And I've now got just a ton of really beautiful, beautiful mulch. A customer wanted me to just bring a little bit to mulch around a tree the other day, and rather than go purchase it and drive to get it, I mean, it's like 90% bark and 10% wood chips. So the chipper shredder's paying off really well. But when I bought the chipper, the fellow that sold it to me did say that it had, you know, the carb had some junk in it. So I went and got a part for the carburetor, and today I'm going to be taking the carburetor apart and putting it back together, which is something I've never actually done. So look for a video on that if you're interested. I know I have a one about a steel chainsaw carburetor that people seem to enjoy, so we'll see how we do with this one. A lot of you folks who watch the landscaping videos, you know, I do plan on making more, but it's been fall. There's something about this really cool weather that it makes you think more of splitting wood, you know. So I do have plenty of wood splitting videos, and I think what I'm going to start doing is if it's like a machinery video or a wood video, it's going to be posted on Fridays. And if it's a landscaping video, I think I'm going to post them on Mondays. And I can't promise you a video of each every week. It'd be nice if I could, and maybe at some point we'll get there. Sorry. But I do want to do at least one video a week, and I want to do videos. I want to do videos that I enjoy making. I want to do videos that are fun. I don't want to do videos just to crank out videos and touch every subject just for the sake of getting views. It's not what it's about for me. But we'll see how things go. I really do, though. I'm working on I have some videos I shot last year where I basically explain every step I take when I'm installing a new landscape. And it was a lot of footage, and there's a video, my last state of the CTSCAPER I did along that river last year. I said that I really wanted to make better videos. And so it was that series, when I was filming that series, that I said, you know, I've got some great information, but if I can't present it in a way that's interesting and, you know, fun to watch, it's not going to have as good of an impact. So last winter I spent a ton of time. I wish I could somehow convey how many hours I spent. I joined an online community about video editing to watch videos on how to do it, and practiced and got frustrated and walked away, and then came back in a few hours and practiced some more. But I'd like to think that my videos have come quite a bit since that that day last year where I basically stopped putting up videos for a few months because I didn't like the way they looked. You know, I'm doing videos about landscaping, and they weren't colorful enough. They weren't clear enough. So now I've come quite a long ways where I've, you know, I do have some lights over here just to kind of put a little more light on me, because whatever I can do to make it more enjoyable for you to watch, I think the better. And we'll see how that goes. And then one of the reasons I was going to make the video today, I was out yesterday and I was at the steel dealer, so I did pick up the steel stump vise. So I think this thing's pretty cool. This is pretty heavy duty, and I've already got the Oregon one, and I think you can see the difference there. So, you know, I was considering doing like a giveaway, because I'm like, geez, I've got 2 stump vices, but I think before I go giving away my old vise or my new vise, or whichever one I want to give away, I think I want to try them both out first. And, you know, to be honest, I've got quite a bit of wood here. I don't usually go out in the forest and cut wood very often. I've got that stump vise. I made a video about how I built, not a stump vise, I put a vise about 4 feet off the ground to sharpen my saws. And that is so awesome to have the saw right where you want it. And if I was in the forest, you know, whichever stump vise I used, it's just so nice to be able to stand up when you sharpen that saw and have it right where you want it. And so if I was in the forest with a stump vise, I'd definitely try to find a higher log. Every time I end up using a stump vise, you know, you're in the forest, so you got to use what you got, and it just really sucks when you're bending over trying to sharpen a saw, you know, 18 inches off the ground. So but that's my latest toy. And then, you know, I'm having a bit of a moral debate today. I got the 046 about a month and a half ago, I think, and I've used the saw just a touch to break up some logs, noodle some logs, and compared to the 036, it's a night and day difference just in the power difference. I was online last night looking around, and I saw an MS650, and an MS650, I didn't even know they made a thing called a 650, I guess it's a 660, but for whatever reason, Steel decided to make a smaller version. And maybe that's just like the, is it the 041 and the 044? I don't know if they have a 441 and a 444, but never knew they made a 650. And I saw one online last night that was, it wasn't cheap, but it would be the next generation after the 046 I got. But I could tell just by looking at the pictures it had seen very little use. And I've been kind of, you know, I got that adrenaline rush again, and then I was trying to figure out how I could justify the purchase to my wife. But that 650, the 046 is so lightweight. When I got it home, I'm like, my God, you know, I could use this as like a regular saw. It's not, you know, the weight difference from the 036 to the 046 is so minor that I was like, geez, I don't know if I want to use this for milling. So my thoughts now are to look at that 650, and I would have a dedicated milling saw. I just keep the milling chain on it all the time. The only thing I use it for is milling, which again, I don't do a ton of, but you know, with milling, you can never have too much power with milling. And if there was a way to get the 088 or the 880 or the 3120 Husqvarna, that thing would be heavy, but boy, more power is always better when milling. So I've also got some cedar logs that I've been holding all summer. Maybe you've seen some in the backdrop of some of my videos. My friend, the arborist, got me a couple cedar logs that are probably about this big or so. And I plan on doing a milling series of making some, I said when I bought the mill, I was going to make some fence boards. So I have them and I want to make the video because I've had the mill for over a year now and I haven't really done anything with it. So I'd like to do something. So, you know, I'm debating that 650. I don't think I'd regret it. It's just, you know, times are a little tight right now, and we'll see how it goes. It would be very nice to have a bigger CC saw. You know, I can't imagine ever wearing that thing out. And, you know, as far as parts go, I looked online and there are, I guess all the parts for the 650 and the 660 are interchangeable. And you can get, if it ever has to be rebuilt, not that any of my saws after 15, 20 years of use have had to be rebuilt, the parts are still there. So I got a squirrel. I don't know if it's a red squirrel. That's a gray squirrel by the call, but there's a warning call going on. So this may possibly be my longest rambling video ever, and oh, that's good. This is like a spiced green tea. It's Bengal or something like that. But it's like if you ever get like a spicy punch in October, it's got that same, it's pretty good. I had a thought. And that thought was, oh, this is my longest ramble ever. And, you know, no offense if this video is never going to be my most popular video. But hopefully you enjoyed this really cool spot. I mean, this is just my happy, this is my happy place. Oh my God. This is my happy place. Because I'm just doing what I love out here. So, hey, thanks for watching, folks, and hopefully we'll have you a little more of a video with purpose next time. Have a great day.